So if you take the music scene, you tend to, let's take prog rock, very overblown, very pompous, very inward-looking, 7-minute, electric keyboard solos. Right. What comes after prog rock? It's punk. And punk is very much, everything pared down. Songs are very short, sharp. They're very blunt. They're very profane as well. They challenge cultural norms. Do you not think that we could see young people having a punk movement against this kind of, this extreme version of liberalism that we now see?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I mean, I think, and you're already seeing it, right? I mean, one of the interesting things, of course, is that there's a big gender split. That young men are not that different from older men. I mean, actually, in their attitudes, there's not a lot of difference there. It's the young women where we see a big difference. Now, so what is going on there is going to be really interesting. I think you're already seeing that pushback. I mean, Gen Z, they really don't like cancel culture. My worry, though, is they haven't really been inculcated in, or at least given a set of alternative values to equality and emotional harm protection for minority groups. And that's still the dominant value that most of them have. So there is, now the young, particularly young men, are rebelling against the overbearing nature and the lack of freedom in this. And I think that's a good thing. But that's going to need more flesh on the bones for it to actually become enduring so that it gets into our institutions and into our high culture. And that's what I worry about, is I just don't know that they have any other values than those left liberal ones, whose extreme version has landed us in this predicament.
Because if you look at cultural movements, a lot of the time, and we go back to music or art, they kind of feel like they spring from nowhere. It's fringe and then it's mainstream. So with this interview, and with you saying, I can't predict, or I don't know where it's going to come from, isn't that the way pushbacks, movements have always worked? No one really knows what the next thing is going to be, and all of a sudden it appears, and then people can look at it retrospectively and go, oh, we can see now that blah, 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 and da-da-da-da-da. But at the moment, no one really could see the way the culture was going to move.
And by the way, there's potentially a good example of this. If you look at the comedians who are really going big in America, they're all pushing back against this stuff. Shane Gillis doesn't get on SNL because he said something offensive, and now he's gone full circle and he's back on SNL because they basically need someone of his caliber in order to do it, right? Rogan, lots of other people, Theo Von, etc. These are not people who are like woke. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they are the cool ones.